So this story has been waiting to be told. Thank you, Passion Speaks, and everyone who came out today. Notice how full of energy I was during one song, and practically no energy in the next.
Yeah.
This is just a simple example of what it's like to have extreme mood swings. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder when I was 13. That's half my life. And with medication, I stabilized throughout my teenage years. And I could function totally fine, going to school, working, having a social life. But before I begin to share more of my story, I'd like to hear from you. What comes to mind when I say bipolar? Just shout it out.
Mood swings.
Mm-hmm.
Mood swings.
Manic.
Manic. That's a
Yeah.
good one. Weird. Weird. Yeah.
Up and down.
Up and down. Just like Katy Perry's song. Hot and cold. Yeah. Shopping spree. That's a good one. Sleepless. No sleep. Depression. Right. Thank you. That gives me an idea of what you are aware of and what you're thinking about. So I imagine that a car is like my mind. I'm driving a car and suddenly someone takes control of the gas pedal. I have little or no control over the gas, the speed of the car, or the brakes. Then, someone else takes control of the steering wheel. All of a sudden, I'm pushed to the passenger seat with no way to get out of the car. This is what it's like to be a prisoner of my own body, mind, and spirit. And this is what mania, the elevated or high state, feels like. And this is what it looks like.
Whoa.
And this is depression. So I now know that all you math majors out there, this is a sine graph. So this line here would be a normal state. High being the high, low being the low. So I would go 2 weeks up and 2 weeks down for 62 cycles, switching 62 times. So each day, I would have different behaviors, different moods, and I would go up and up and up until I reached the peak, which lasted for 3 or 4 days. And I'm talking high euphoria, nothing can stop me, I'm not even connected with the world at all, and then no sleep, constant activity, constant drive to do everything, and then I would go slowly, well not slowly, but notch from down to down, and then all the way down to the low, which basically I stayed in bed all day. And all the memories here, I wouldn't remember until I was depressed. So I would regret everything I did when I was in the high state. But when I was in the high state, it didn't matter because I didn't even know that I was doing it until after I did it. So that's just a little image there. So it became very clear that these extreme mood swings were being run by the chemistry in my brain, and I had very little control over it. This is a medical condition, just like any other medical condition involving an organ of your body, like heart disease or diabetes or liver disease. My condition is a result of a chemical imbalance in my brain. I am not bipolar. I have bipolar disorder. Just like if someone had a broken leg. They're not a broken leg, they just have it. I have broken connections somewhere in my brain. And once I was diagnosed, I could deal with it. There's a stigma in our society that people with severe mental illness are less than human and are somehow less deserving of love and respect. One reason I want to talk about my story is to put a human face on mental illness and to make it clear that mental illness, or mental health condition in better terms, is no different than any other health condition. I'm saying these things not to gain sympathy, but to shed light on the fact that we all have a battle to fight, and we are all fighting some kind of battle. So like I said before, I switched either up or down 64 times, or did I say 62? But it's 64. And that was with 5 hospitalizations in the psychiatric ward. 3 in the US and 2 in Chungcheong, Korea. And this was over a period of 3 years. Each time I switched, I was hoping and praying that it wouldn't happen. So each time, it was such a major disappointment. But I embraced the fact that it happened, and I had to deal with it. I had a team of caregivers during this time, and Vanessa, one of them, was there for me for more than a year, full time, through all of the unpredictable and stressful times. And also Caroline, Jung-Hae, Mr. and Mrs. Abendroth, Mrs. Scott, and anyone out there who I can't see. And that's just to name a few. Very few. Some of the hospitalizations in the US were life-threatening because of the amount of medications they gave me or injected me with force. And also the disregard that I was given as a person. I was not treated as a whole human being with a mind, body, and spirit. After surviving the first 2 hospitalizations, I saw a holistic psychiatrist that introduced me to energy medicine, which is like prayer that fed my spiritual self, and good nutrition that strengthened my body. She took me off of sugar, caffeine, wheat, gluten, dairy. I asked her, what can I eat? But now I know that there's so much out there to eat besides those things. No judgment if you eat those things. Also, I was taking up to 40 vitamins and supplements a day, drinking green drinks with superfoods, and regulating what I put in my body. I really learned the value of a healthy lifestyle. After a year of seeing her, I cleansed from the toxicity of medication, but I was still cycling up and down through mania and depression. So my mother and I, my parents and I, decided to go to Cheongpyeong. I went with my mother, my full-time caregiver, with the hope that full recovery could happen in my mind, body, and spirit. We didn't really know the outcome, but one thing we knew was that the Cheongpyeong Mental Hospital allows family members 24/7 access. So my mom ended up staying with me in the hospital. We had our own room. It was really nice. And the nurses and doctors actually cared about me and wanted the best for me. Also, I could go outside, whereas the hospitals in the US, I was locked up. We couldn't go outside. I was there for 2 weeks and I couldn't even see the sun because it was in the basement. Well, there was a little window in my room, but I never saw the sunlight. So I got to go outside, climb up to the Tree of Blessing, which is at the top of the mountain in Cheongpyeong. It was really like night and day. So after 3 years, I found a medication that helped me stop the manic state. But I continued to be in the depressive state for about 1.5 years. And for that year and 2 months, I lived and worked in Cheongpyeong, the Cheongpyeong Training Center. And that's where my recovery from depression started. Little by little, day by day, I got a little more feelings, a little more happiness. It was very, very gradual. Daemonim, Mrs. Kim, took special care of me even before I was accepted onto the staff, and then as a part of the staff. My 2 favorite places in Cheongpyeong are the prayer hall, the Jungshimwon, and the Tree of Blessing, the top of the mountain, where you can just see Cheongpyeong Lake and all the different mountain ranges. And those were the 2 places where I could really connect with my true self and with God. I now realize what a miracle my life really is after having lost control of my life for that period of time. The difference between being well and being ill is that when I wasn't stable, my moods controlled me. And in recovery and wellness, I controlled my moods. I learned how precious this freedom is and how precious it is to have choices and responsibility. Sorry, lost my place. How precious it is to have that responsibility and be in control of my life. Now I have the choice to either be bitter and resentful about those lost years that I couldn't work or couldn't go to school, or couldn't socialize. Or I can be grateful that now I have the freedom to choose to love myself and others and make this world a better place. This is such a gift. Just breathing, waking up in the morning, being able to plan out my day, making choices, cooking my own meals, driving, reading a book and actually understanding it, exercising, and the list goes on. Even though the medication plays a part in my stability, the choices I make determine the quality of my life. This is why I'm passionate about health and wellness. I'm passionate about the environment, the ocean, keeping it clean and livable. I'm passionate about family, close friends, new friends. I'm passionate about having a good relationship with God and true parents. I'm passionate about serving others. I'm passionate about snowboarding. I'm passionate about a lot of things. Also, if I hadn't had this illness, I may not have the opportunity to take the time to deepen my faith the way I did. God was truly my strength. Also, I couldn't have gone through it without my parents, my family, all of those who supported me, my friends who became my caregivers, and of course, God and true parents. My mantra throughout the whole entire experience was, what is it, Vanessa? You got the words right. Exactly. I am whole, balanced, healed, stable, and happy.